I'm sure you learned a lot about the Super Bowl matchup already, and maybe some of this stuff you've heard, but I have a feeling this is going to be pretty dang interesting. Now, USA Today did the 32 things we've learned about the matchup, and it was just amazing as I looked through it how many Cowboys topics are in there. I took about 12 out, most are Cowboys topics. Most are just or stunning on their own. Didn't think we could get to all 32. I don't even think we can get to all 12. I think that might be a little ambitious.
I think we can do it.
Knowing how Brian likes to talk.
That is the truth.
Yeah. Well, you picked the right field, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're going to jump to number 4. One more win, the Niners will join the Patriots and Steelers as the only franchises with 6 Lombardi trophies. That would make 3 of them. What will the record be by the time the Cowboys win their next one?
Oh gosh.
Niners, Patriots, Steelers. I don't think you have to worry about Patriots or Steelers right now, but maybe the Cowboys win a couple of more and they push this thing out to 6 or I guess it's 6 already to 7.
Kind of having a Tiger Woods vibe on those majors now for the Cowboys.
So close, but yet so far.
Yeah, they're like.
How many Super Bowls do the Chiefs have?
Kansas City at 3 now.
Kansas City won one in one in the 60s.
And then they've got 2 now with Mahomes.
Two with
Been
Mahomes.
to 4, won 3 of them.
Yeah.
So yes, I would imagine at least for the rest of Mahomes' career, and I think he's going to get 4 more, which would at least put it at 7, maybe 8.
I think 7's a good answer.
Man.
That's where I'm leaning. I think the record's going to be 7 by the time the Cowboys.
How much
do.
the quarterback is the best? What about the head coach? If the head coach leaves, does that program fall by the wayside?
Is that real?
No, I'm just saying.
Just at any point over the course of the next few years.
Give me 2 years of Andy Reid, and Andy Reid loves coaching football. But I wonder if in fact that Andy Reid decides to walk away from this thing, what will the Kansas City Chiefs look like then?
I asked that to you guys last week. I've wanted the same thing.
Significant.
Is Mahomes that much of a cheat code that it doesn't matter?
There's no question he is. But
I think that Andy makes a big difference. I think you're right.
Look what happened to the Cowboys when Jimmy Johnson walked away.
Yeah, you have to have like a guy who's responsible for like caretaking the culture.
Right.
And knows how to keep those professional standards in all these different aspects of football. And once that guy walks away, the quarterback can only do so much. Now, he might be great enough to still win, like LeBron in Cleveland.
Right.
Some guys can just carry a franchise, and I think Pat would do well, but it would be significantly different, I think, if Andy Reid would leave. And that's a great point because Andy's 65 years old. Okay, number 5, the current 19-year-old gap between repeat champions is the longest of the Super Bowl era, which began in 1966. You guys, we haven't given a prediction yet. Do you think the Chiefs are going to go back-to-back here, or will the Niners win their 6th?
Man, I don't know how you could pick against the Chiefs.
I can't pick against Mahomes. And the way that I think they can run the football. Like, I think they lined up and they went after it with Pacheco yesterday. They did it against Buffalo.
Without Tooney.
And they can shut down a great running game.
Yeah. I think they'll find a way to be able to run the football. Mahomes will make enough plays to where they get this done.
Man, I'll tell you what, the Kansas City's got a cheat code in that Snead, that corner.
Dude,
he's brilliant.
You could put him
play
on
of the weekend.
You could put him on anybody, and it's going to be probably pretty good for your Kansas City Chiefs.
And McDuffie's pretty darn good on the
McDuffie's
other
not
side.
bad either.
No, they are both. I mean, that was one of the biggest takeaways of the game. And this whole playoff run is understanding just how good those two guys are, and the tackling and the physicality, and just like, man, those two guys being what they are allows Steve Spagnuolo to say, I'm going to bring hell with these blitzes.
Yeah.
And you guys can hold up, and we'll get up and we'll press you. Like, I love that. You don't see guys on 3rd and 4, 8 yards off their wide receiver or off their tight end. They're all up on them, and they're smothering these dudes.
Yeah, he's going to figure out. I know that Purdy was missing some guys in those 3 losses that they had, but Spagnuolo's going to take that film and just kind of find 2 or 3 things. He's going to have something in his hip pocket when they really need to get a stop.
Purdy will be in the blender.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, haven't seen that one all day. Yeah.
I knew this was coming from the 469. Was someone in Gavin's headset telling him to get out during that live read? It's well played, sir.
Yep.
Number 6.
Couldn't have been worse than the one I had a few minutes prior.
Man, if I wish I was, held to that standard and compensated in that way, But I guess Tony's just, like way.
Is Tony
way
a
better.
$15 million guy?
18.
I think 18? It's closer to 20.
Okay.
Get what you pay for, I guess. Number 6, the Chiefs are only the third team to reach the Super Bowl 4 times in a 5-year period, a feat previously matched by
the Bills
and
Cowboys.
Patriots.
Bills and Patriots. Of course, the Cowboys should have, but
Not the Cowboys, huh?
Steve convinced Jerry they didn't need Dion that much in the 94 season, which allowed San Francisco to get in there and take one. Could have been 4 in a row.
Could have been.
But it was the first striking of Steve.
Damn it.
Hey, look at this. Dion's available, the best corner in the NFL. Should we let the Niners get him? And there was like a 2-week bidding for Dion as he was finishing up baseball and like, hey, what's Dion going to do? And this is pre-internet, so every day I check in the USA Today thinking Dion's going to the Cowboys, or no way they're going to let him go to the Niners. Let him go to the Niners. Then the next offseason, Steve stepped to Jerry again. And this time Jerry said, to hell with you, son.
Yeah.
And that's the last time someone with real cojones took control of this team's fortunes. I'm just taking the torch that you lit and sprinted with last week, Brian. We're going after Steve.
I sprinted that thing like I was at the Olympics, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I
It was
did.
glorious. And you were a 2-time GBag of the Day champion, an honorary 5.
Thank you. I
We
appreciate
go to
it.
number 7. Kansas City can become the first team seeded 3rd in the playoffs to win it all since the 2006 Colts. That's pretty interesting. There's not a lot of 3, 4, 5, 6s, and you can add 7s to that now. It's mostly 1 and 2 seeds, unless the Cowboys are a 1 and 2 seed. Then they're usually out in the first round.
Right.
Number 9, San Francisco's 19 appearances in the conference title round are 3 more than any other franchise. They've kind of become like the most successful postseason team.
Yeah.
Even though the Patriots did so much and the Cowboys and the Steelers and stuff, but
Theirs goes way back into the 70s.
really.
Yeah, 70s, 80s. They had a little bit of some in the 90s, but man, they've really turned things around there.
They were just so pathetic from like 95 to 2010.
Oh yeah, the Mike Nolan era was not very good for them. And then what was our guy that 1 year, the defensive line coach that was here? God, I forgot.
Jim Tom Sula.
Jim Tom Sula was there
Or
one
is
year.
it Tom Jim Sula?
Did they do a Chip Kelly experiment too?
That Chip Kelly experiment. Yeah.
Really? Chip
Yeah.
Kelly was
Yeah.
the head coach of
Yeah.
the San
He went
Francisco
from Philly to
49ers?
San Fran.
Yeah. I think
That is shocking. I remember when Mike Singletary was out there.
Mike
Yeah.
Singletary can't win with them.
That's
Can't coach with them. Can't
do
do
it.
it.
Vernon Davis, without his helmet, just going off the field,
Yep.
going back into the locker room in the middle of the game.
Can't do it.
He just sort of quit.
972, Gavin, I did a solar system project with my 8-year-old, and him and I could not stop doing Uranus jokes all weekend. Mom was annoyed. That gives me legit son FOMO right there.
That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Right
might have to
there,
go back
yeah.
in for a 3rd shot.
Because you probably fire off that one-liner if that was 12-and-a-half-year-old
yeah.
son.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 10, the Niners come back from a 24-7 deficit, which included a run of 27 straight points in the second half, tied the record for largest overcome in the NFC title game with the 2012 Niners, who survived the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons, yeah.
It's always the Falcons, isn't it?
Was that
Falcons will mess it up if they got a chance.
Good Lord.
I mean, I guess this is sort of Shanahan's, somewhat redemption. It doesn't have the stakes of the Super Bowl, but he gets to have one of those historical postseason comebacks.
Yes, the great coaches, the brilliant, schemers, they get a chance more than the other guys, which the Cowboys don't seem that intent on looking for. I think when Jerry Jones all those years ago said any number of 500 coaches could have done this,
Maybe 5,000.
I think it revealed something. He just thinks that like football coaches are football coaches. And you just got to, we got a football coach. And now, we just got to draft some good players. And then, you get lucky. And then you go on a run. You won it. Yeah. And that's why I'm happy that the Lions didn't win yesterday. Because, damn it, if the Lions had won, the Jones boys had been like, see, look at there. Yeah. They're doing it with even a worse defense than we did. You just got to get lucky one Sunday. And then you end up in the Super Bowl. You get in, and then you get a lottery ticket. All 7 teams have an equal shot of getting there.
We were ahead of
We've
the
just been
Cavs.
unlucky, Dad.
Took Zeke at number 4 overall. Look at them now. Took a running back at 12.
Number 11, San Francisco's 7-game winning streak at home is currently the longest in the playoffs. Wow. That's real home dominance.
That's incredible, yeah.
I'm sorry. I really
Somebody
gotta
talking
check
in your ear?
myself. No, I'm talking to myself.
Are you?
I'm telling myself, you got to slow down on dunking on the Cowboys like this. This just isn't right.
What a hell of a play. We're seeing the replay of Snead knocking that ball loose.
Play the playoffs.
My gosh,
It was,
what a play.
It really was.
Just don't give up on a play. right there. That's an example. Don't
Pretty bad
give up.
sequence for Zay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great play up until that moment, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's going to get through all three of them, and I'm like, oh no, but it broke the plane, and then the replay, you're like, holy cow.
Then he gets his hand on the sideline, banging one of the
Okay, did we skip video
or?
of that? Because I saw like it was just all of a sudden on the sideline he started bleeding from like his thumb or something. I assume that was like an angry like smashing the hand on something.
Those heated benches are like plastic, and that can mess you up a little bit.
Number 11, San Francisco's 7-game winning streak at home. Oh, long. Yep. Number 14, Sunday was Reed's 11th conference championship game appearance. Only Belichick has more.
That's incredible.
Got some in Philadelphia, didn't he?
He did.
And then, oh, wait, as a head coach, if you count the ones, Belichick can count the ones when he was with the Giants as an assistant. Reed's been in a few as an assistant. I don't think they only count the head coach ones, right?
Yeah.
That okay? Okay, there you go.
I think head coach and quarterback is the only positions that get a win-loss record under the team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Reed next to his 5th Super Bowl. Reed next heads to his 5th Super Bowl, joining Belichick 9 and Hall of Famers Don Shula and Landry as the only head coaches to achieve that. Landry with 5, of course. So there's a good Cowboys mention. Number 16, Mahomes 28, said to become the first QB to start 4 Super Bowls before the age of 30. That's just amazing. You know, I don't know. You know, you compare Reed to Belichick. I know I'd rather have Reed now. I don't know if he's the better coach all time than Belichick, but Reed for right now. And all time, Brady has the better resume, but I think I would want Mahomes over Brady. But I think the parallels there are pretty fantastic as far as the dominance. Just different eras. Okay, number 17, he's also the first to play in 7 consecutive postseason games without throwing an interception.
That's amazing.
Well, how about you can take it even further for Mahomes, because I saw this of
Brady holds the record, I think, right, for most consecutive
passes without one.
Passes, I think he's at 238.
Postseason passes without an interception.
I think it's Brady. Drew Brees is next, and then Mahomes, I think, is in that. But the Super Bowl, he can potentially pass Brady on this one for most consecutive without an interception.
Well, this is Pro Football Focus, so you can take it with a grain of salt or whatever. But in this postseason, Pat Mahomes, 127 dropbacks, 0 turnover-worthy throws.
Wow.
So he hasn't he hasn't thrown the interception, but it wasn't like he got lucky once or twice. They should have picked it off. But no, he's had, allegedly, according to Pro Football Focus, 0 turnover-worthy throws throughout this entire postseason. And Bassick made a really good point about being late in the game. There's like 5 minutes to go in the game. He takes a sack, and he never takes sacks. And he takes a sack to avoid, instead of throwing the ball and getting the incompletion, he knows it's better to just let the clock keep running. I'll go ahead and eat this sack here. It's just like some of those, the understanding of the game, knowing what to do, when to do it, the cerebral nature. I think that's so underrated about his game.
Yeah, to be able to avoid the big letdown play, it's more important than ever with this defense and the lack of weapons. And I think he's probably adjusted the last 2 runs, knowing if we're going to win this game, we might not have to score as much, but I absolutely can't turn it over. And, I said, I think it was in Crosstalker earlier, there's a Troy Aikman factor to that, where you're only going to risk the ball as much as you need to win. And sometimes it'll look like at the end of the game, like, wow, he must not have been very good. Those stats just weren't eye-popping. But all Troy did was win, I think. And, that approach is not going to get rewarded statistically, but it often does in the win column, because it totally takes away the other team's ability to come back like the Niners did off the Detroit mistake. Okay, number 20, the Ravens managed only 81 rushing yards Sunday, the only time all season the NFL's top-ranked ground attack failed to produce at least 100 yards. We talked about that on Friday. Baltimore backs only received 6 carries against Kansas City. That might be the biggest gap of the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not for Baltimore?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was...
I still am just baffled by that.
I mean, the Chiefs gave up 182 yards on the ground versus Buffalo last week.
Yeah.
And that's a really good Chiefs defense. That's the one area where you feel like, hey, you can really take advantage of them here. You're Baltimore. You run the ball well. Your quarterback is known for it. I don't understand why your starting 2 running backs would have a total of like 5 or 6 carries on the game.
Makes
Number 27, Detroit has not won a playoff game on the road since the 1957 season. That's just bizarre. Number 28, home teams wound up with a 9-3 record in the 2023 playoffs. Home field advantage should be very, very powerful. It is.
Dallas was one of the losses, right?
Yeah, you just got to build a good enough team that you have the number 1 seed usually, and hope Patrick Mahomes isn't in your conference, which you have the fortune of that.
Ooh.
You know, you do have that fortune right now. If Patrick Mahomes was in your conference, you probably wouldn't be making the Super Bowl at any point in the next 10 years. But at least you don't have to contend with him until you get there. Number 30, Chiefs have scored on their opening drive in 8 consecutive postseason games. And as we reach the end, Ravens wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. says he caught 3 balls for 22, might have been his last in a Ravens uniform. OBJ said in the locker room he plans to continue his career, hopes Baltimore will re-sign him. Will the Cowboys consider him once again as maybe your 3rd wide receiver, assuming Michael Gallup is gone? I think that's one of the interesting questions going into the offseason. We'll have to see if the Cowboys are interested once again.